Hello and welcome to a tutorial for my 500 sub special. Now, a lot of you are a bit of a fan of these, the countdown timers that I made. And this one is my most recent one. Already it's heading for 3,000 views, which is just absolutely crazy. So I'm going to show you how I make the countdown timers. Interesting. Now, the first thing we need is a border. So, like, we're going to go on the internet, and we're going to just put, say, border, or frame, or you can word it however you like. But this is always the first thing I do. I look for a border on what I want surrounding my countdown. Now, this one looks quite good. Bit right. It's sort of like old sort of film kind of style, isn't it? This one looks a bit more modern. So this is how I look for a border. We're going to go for something simple, I reckon. Now, it doesn't have to be transparent in the middle, it does not matter. But this one looks really snazzy, so I'm making this as quick as I can so you guys can see what's up. So we're going to save that. It doesn't matter what format you save it as, but it will probably depend on your editing software. Now I use Pinnacle Studio 20. I'm gonna boot that up. I hope it is anyway. So we want a brand new movie. Let's give it a sec to load, and hopefully it should be recording that. Yeah, it is good. Right. So the first thing you want to do is put export our border. Now they're pretty much the same technique no matter what editing software you use. You're familiar with all your tracks and stuff. So you want your border ideally to be in a very bottom track. Now we should have enough tracks to work with here. We're not adding the 1/10. They're a bit more complicated. So I mean and then we're going to make a 3-minute timer just to make it short, just so you get the idea. If you're doing it longer than a minute, you'll know what to do. So that's their order time. Now that looks a bit odd, so we're going to change this to, I don't know why it's gone to 4:3. I normally use 16:9, and we go HD, full HD. For if you're putting a 1/10 in, you need 30 frames per second, or something that can be divided into 10. So there we go. That looks a bit better. It looks a bit more. I don't think that does actually. Right. So what we're going to do, we're going to edit this so it looks better, because that's way too tall. We don't want it right on the edge. So using the picture-in-picture feature, or PIP for short, we're going to adjust the size of it. So we're going to make it so it's a bit more squashed. Now that looks better. That looks better already, because you cannot always crop this bit out when you insert it in your video. So what we're going to do now is, now we need to choose a font. Now what I use for this, I use Xnote Stopwatch. It is 100% free and it does the job. Now fonts are very important because you don't want it to move. And let's test this one out. Now this font is absolutely solid. It doesn't move at all. If you right, let's take some of the the milliseconds off. We change to 1/10 because you can. It's normally on a 1. The 1 is normally the most guilty for making a font move. So now I'm going to show you a font that does move, so you can see what I mean. Look at that, it's moving. We don't want that. I mean, you can have that if you like, but it would just look horrible and will look totally out of place, if you know what I mean. Some fonts are worse than others. Like maybe go to this one. Oh, that's stable actually. That's a stable font, so that's a really good font to use because it's nice and stable. So what font is that? I've been looking for that one. Freehand. We go to, say, maybe this one. I mean, look at this one. This one's horrible. Look how much that moves. And it will be the same effect in the editing software. So we're going to go for that freehand font because we know it doesn't move. We know it's a solid font. So what we need to do now the top one, I'll put a minute. So it's going to be a 3 minute timer. So we're going to put 3 and whatever you want to use to separate the minutes. We're going to change the font, and it was freehand, wasn't it? So we're going to change the freehand. It is there, and we are going to make it bigger. And then it's a case of playing with the size until you get it to fit. I still think that's a bit too small. Maybe 175 could be about right. No, I think 200 should be fine. Yeah, I mean that looks okay. You gotta remember you need space for 3 seconds as well, and it can be fiddly sometimes to make sure everything's all in line and stuff. So we're gonna click OK there. So we have the minutes now in. We're gonna adjust this duration for well, what we're gonna do now. Right, ignore that. I usually get my timers to start after 10 seconds. So we're gonna go to about 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is how you know the accuracy of your timer. So we're looking at the number in the very top right where it says TC. As you can see, that's now right on 10 seconds. So we're going to split the clip back. We don't want to split both clips, just that top one. There we go. And then now that's split. So that's our minute sorted, and then that can adjust duration to about a minute. I mean, you know the minutes can be actually 1 minute point one sort of thing, if that makes sense. Sorry, 1 minute 10. I can't even do math now. Now the next track. Well, actually, we're going to move that up a bit because we know we only minutes and seconds. We're not adding the 1/10 in, so that will maybe come. I don't know, maybe 1,000 subscriber special. I don't know. This bottom track is where we're going to have our music. Again, it doesn't matter what order, as long as but the border has to be in the track below your time. Because it just makes lives a lot easier. Now we've clicked on the wrong one, so we're going to highlight this track, and now we're going to put the seconds in. So we want to use the same font, the same size, which was freehand, and it was size 200. So we go down to freehand, there it is, and we change the size to 200. There we go. Now, I think that looks okay actually. It doesn't look too small. It looks like the right sort of size to use in this size frame. So we're gonna stick with that. That looks in line to me. And just extend that. That's too much actually. So we're gonna extend that, and then again right on 10 seconds. So we can split that right there. And now what you want to do, because this is the point where it starts. This adjusts duration to 1 second. There we go. So that is now 1 second. So we need to copy and paste this and have 10 of these. I'm showing you the quickest possible way of making a timer. So we're going to copy these two. Close gap. Yeah, it's Pinnacle 21 we're using. Sorry, Pinnacle 20. Now, it looks like there's still a bit of a gap there. So we're going to make sure. Now 4, and we should be right on 10. So these are changing every 1 second. As you can see, it shows you the duration. It says 1 second when I highlight it. So all we need to do now, of course, this is the point where it starts. So that needs to be 2, and this needs to be a 59. Now we're going to bang any odd music in for now, because 59. Now, the first, I didn't open that. Right, so like the first minute is always the worst. It's always the slowest, the first minute. You'll see why when we get down to 2. So that's, oh hang on, yeah, that's 58. And then you just keep changing this. Even after the first 10 seconds, it gets slightly easier. Because like the rest of it, it's just copying and pasting. It's the same with the 1/10. It's just copy and pasting. But if you're putting a 1/10 in, you don't want to put them in until last, because as you get a lot in, if it's like a longer timer, like 10-15 minutes, it will these ones will take a lot longer to open when you got a 1 tenth in that, but I've just done 55 twice. I've spotted that. This one needs to be 54. I think it's a nice groovy font, this. 53. And after the first 10 seconds, it's a doddle, you know. It's because I did my 200 subscriber special on Minecraft, so I thought for the 500 one I concentrate on you guys who really like me countdown timers, because I've noticed hugely popular. Right, we've now done the first 10 seconds. So what you want to do, you want to copy this and paste, close gap, and all you're doing now is changing the 5 to the 4, because we've got 98765 down to 0. So you're just changing these all down to a 4. Always make regular saves as well. I mean, I'm not doing for this project, but if it shuts down, I won't lose anything, because Pinnacle, it will save your project, and if it crashes all of a sudden, so you got nothing to worry about with Pinnacle. Because when you open it back up again, you'll have the option to continue editing, and you'll just do that. So I'm going to show you through the 40s and through the 30s, and then we're going to skip ahead until I'm approaching 2 minutes. So this is basically all you're doing now. Now we've done the first 10 seconds. We know the 0 to 0 is correct, well 9 to 0 is correct. So all we're just doing is placing the 10 to a 4, and now that's done, just paste again, and now it's just changing the 5 to a 3, and that's all there is to it, all the way down to 2 minutes. So we're going to cut ahead of the video until we get down to 2 minutes, and now because we've done a full minute, we can now do. Now, as you can see, it's slightly out, but not by much, because that's, I mean, that says 1 minute, and that ends there, for some reason, but it's only, like, maybe tenths out. I mean, yeah, it's a 30th of a second out, after 1 minute, which isn't gonna even be noticeable. So what we need to do now, we copy and paste all the seconds. This is why you have the seconds and the minutes on different tracks, because it makes life so much quicker and so much easier for yourself. I used to do them on the same track. Like, I used to put minutes and seconds in this track, and it was so time consuming. So because we've got our seconds now, and all we do now is just drag this a little bit further, the minutes, and right between the 00 and the 59. We split that clip, and we change the 2 to a 1. I'm going to extend this for about a minute. A minute and 1 will be fine, because you drag it anyway. And then end of the video. No, you don't, because that's where the graphic ends. Which we did that for a minute and 1 second, so as you can see the 1 minute is there. Paste the seconds again, close gap, and then simply split the clip. It's better if you unhighlight those. There we go, and then you can see that marker, that looks about, it's not there, I think it looks like about there, it looks bang halfway between those two. I mean, if you want to make it easier, you can zoom in a little bit. And it looks like we are in the correct place. Yeah, clearly. That's as accurate as you can get it. And now, we change the 1 to a 0, as we are now inside the last minute. Now, if you want to change the numbers red, or you want to get rid of that and have really big seconds, and just get rid of that 0, you can. It just means you've got to redo the seconds for the final minute. Like, you got to reposition it and everything, like pretty much like you do right at the start of the video. So we're not gonna do that for today, because I want this tutorial to be quick and easy. which is my aim. So we're going to do it again, 1:01. I mean, you can change the 0 to red if you please. There's no problem with that. Now, what you want to hear, now what we need now is music. Now, I have loads of music saved. It don't matter what kind of music you use, but just make sure it's copyright free. You know, that is an absolute must. But we're going to chuck an old 16-bit one, so we've got loads of tunes here. I mean, this one. Now we have only used one tune that's about 3 minutes long. I mean, this sounds pretty good. Don't tell you how long it is because our window isn't big enough. So it's this one that we're on, and that, I mean, 10 minutes. That is absolutely fine. So we're going to use this one. We're going to use this chip tune because it sounds really cool. So we're going to start that as soon as the timer starts. Before we watch it all the way though, we're going to have something a bit more. I mean, this needs. We're going to adjust this to 3 minutes long because it's not half an hour. Get it right. There we go. 03, 03, 03. And now you go there, and then back to the end, and here we go. That is about right. But you want to end your music right here. If you want something dramatic, as soon as it strikes 0, you want to end your music between 00 and 1 second, and then you can put your music there. So we're gonna go for maybe a game over kind of tune, something that sounds. There's plenty of game over tunes you can use. Now which one do we use? Let's use that one. So it's like it sounds bad because you just ran out of time, you know, and then you just cut it to the size. Right. And we're going to end the music thing there. And what we want to do now is drag this to the end of your tune, so it just doesn't go off all of a sudden. And as you can see, our border has disappeared. That's because it ends there. So we want to drag this to the end as well, so it doesn't look odd. Right, we're going to turn the volume down a touch, the master volume. If I can get to my volume controls, I can see it's already on quite an all-time low. We turn it a little bit lower, and now we are going to watch our timer from 3 minutes. So I'm going to get going, and I'm going to leave this timer to run all the way down to 0, so you can have a look. You can get the understanding of it. And yeah, here we go. This video will end in 3 minutes, I guess. Now, just the reason why you probably saw that it jumped a couple of times, it went really quickly. The only reason why it does that, it won't do it in the exported version, but the reason why it did that is because it's when the timeline marker reached the edge of the screen, and then when it all jumped across. That's the only reason why the timer seemed to have jumped. But trust me, when you export it, you won't get any of that. It will be, oh, hang on, very small. Don't know why it's gone like that. Custom. I always have it in custom. There you go. I now just so you know my settings. I'm gonna go into advanced and show you my settings. H264. MPEG 4 preset custom. Pre-processing automatic. Full high definition 1920 by 1080p. 30 frames a second. Progressive. 12 megabytes a second. I would recommend at least 10 megabytes a second for full HD. Bitrate 192, and that's it pretty much. That's all my settings. As you can see, it's MPEG 4, 16-bit stereo, 44 Hz, and we're now going to export. I'm going to call it 3 min because that's what it is.